Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I could do kind of like an answering a big list of questions about me. So what I've done is I've pulled some up on my phone, just on this little website, and I just thought like I might do a little bit of makeup while I'm kind of going along, but I have just steamed my face and I just don't know if I want to ruin that right now. I've got my very large box of makeup. I'm going to talk you through some of my favourite products, maybe use some and answer these questions kind of as we go along. So yeah, we're just going to do that today and we're going to have so much fun. So the first thing that I'm going in with is my Nivea moisturiser. So the first question is, if you had an unlimited supply of anything, what would it be and what would you do with it? I actually don't know, you know. Okay, this is going to be wild. I have recently had a newfound obsession with cheese strings, and I don't know where it's come from. Before cheese strings, it was like Baby Bells and just continuously eating Baby Bells. So in all honesty, I would take an unlimited supply of cheese strings right about now. Okay, so my next question is, what's something you could talk about for hours but never get to since no one ever asks? See, I can talk for hours anyways. Literally hours. But if I wanted to talk about anything, in all honesty, probably mental health. And it sounds really cliche because I feel like everyone says, oh, I've been through mental health. I could talk to you for hours about mental health, but I genuinely could. When I first got diagnosed with anxiety when I was 10, I felt like my whole world had come crashing down, because at 10, most people think you don't know anything to do with mental health at 10. Like, it was weird. Like, I was still in primary school dealing with this big emotion that I'd never felt before. And when I was 10, like, you don't know what to do at 10. Like, you can't tell your friends, you can't go to your friends for advice because they're 10 as well. Like, they don't know. But it was a big emotion. It was a lot to feel. I went to therapy, and then later on in life I found out that I had ADHD, which is something that I speak very proud on. I'm not ashamed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having ADHD. I think it's great. I think it makes me the person that I am today, and if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be who I am. I think mental health's always been very important to me. Like, I talk a lot on it. My Instagram used to be a platform that I used to talk about mental health on, so like I said, I could speak for hours on mental health, but I'm not going to, because that's not what today's video is about. This is just a little bit of questions to get to know me, but 100% mental health. Ask me anything about my mental health story and I'll sit there for hours. Speak to me about the fact that you're struggling with mental health and I'll sit there for hours and just listen and give you advice and kind of tell you how to deal with it. But no one ever asks, because I think they know I'll talk too much. They know I'll talk too much if I start talking about mental health, so I think they just don't ask. The next thing I'm going to go in with is this. I got sent it in a glossy box, and if anyone's not subscribed to glossy box subscription, it's the best thing ever. I love mysteries. I love getting things delivered. So glossy box for me is like ideal. It's like £12 a month. It's great, and you get these cute little like packaged things. So yeah, the next thing I'm going to go in with is this, Photo Face like primer. You only need a very small amount of this and it goes a very, very long way. Okay, the next question is, if you could be anywhere right now, where would you want to be? I would want to be traveling, ideally kind of starting in Southeast Asia and maybe make my way up to Australia. I did always want to travel the world. I think it's one of my main aims in life. My sister went about 2-3 years ago and she travelled for about 3-4 months, and she said like it was the best thing she's ever done. She got to like kind of see the elephants and Pig Island and stuff like that. She went over Philippines, like Bangkok, Thailand, everywhere like that, and it looked really, really good, and I was really jealous. So 100% anywhere but England, to be honest. Anywhere but England. I would quite happily take Australia. I think I'd want to go Australia first. I just want to travel. I want to be somewhere warm, and I want to have fun, and I want to kind of travel and see the world. I'd be really mad at myself if I make it to my end of life and I haven't travelled majority of the world. I funnily enough have this app, and it's called Bean. And it's actually all like, it gives you the percentage of how much of the world you've travelled. So far, mine's 4%. It tells you kind of what countries you've travelled, because obviously you can log them and then you can look through where you've travelled. So in Africa, I've got Egypt. In Asia I've got Turkey. In Europe I've got France, Greece, Italy, Spain, Turkey, UK. And then in Oceania I've got Australia. I went to Australia when I was about 1, but anything that ups my percentage, I'll take it. But I would really, really love to get at least 50% of the world travelled. Hopefully before I'm dead. Next thing I'm going to use is foundation. I'm not going to use much though, so I'm going to kind of blend a few different foundations. I've got my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Barcelona, which is a little bit too dark for me at the minute, but then I've also got a few different ones, so I'm going to mix them together. Okay, the next question is, did you think you'd end up where you are now? Why or why not? In all honesty, I probably didn't think I was going to be here. If we went back about 4 years ago, I was sure I wasn't going to make it past my teenage years. I was absolutely certain I wasn't going to make it past my teenage years. Even if you asked me about 2 years ago, I probably would have still said the same thing. Started off with anxiety, and then I kind of got ADHD diagnosis, and I went through quite a bit of depression in like my younger teenage years, like 15, 16. So I think if you would have asked me when I was going through all those things, I'd probably say no, I've got no idea where I'm going to be in life. I'm probably going to be a failure, and I'm probably going to be homeless. I'm not homeless and I'm not a failure, so we beat my allegations from younger me. The next question, just while I mix this concoction, is how often do you think of the past? I feel like we're getting a little bit deep here. I think of the past quite often. I think I reminisce a lot on the past. I think I overthink a lot about the past. It's a really bad habit of mine, like a really bad trait, and everyone always says like never look to the past, always look to the future, but I think you have to look at the past to be able to look at the future, because if I don't look at the things that have gone wrong, how can I fix it in the future and go right? I think the past is probably my biggest enemy. I'm not the same person I was in the past, and I think a lot of people find that really hard to move on from. I think when you know a person in the past, you tend to associate with them with the person that they are now. And you know, we all do it because that's the person that we knew of them, and how do we know they've changed if we don't know them now? So yeah, I think about the past a little bit too much. It's definitely something I want to work on in this new year, but you know, we all do it, don't we? We all have those moments. Okay, I'm just going to use my Too Faced Born This Way in the colour Cream Puff just to even out my foundation, because trust me, it works. For some reason, I forgot that I used to be really pale, and at the minute, I'm very pale, like insanely pale. Okay, the next question is, what's your biggest pet peeve about other people? And then following along with that is, what's your biggest pet peeve about yourself? I think I'd say my biggest pet peeve about other people is people that lie, aren't very straight up, and people that don't tell the truth. But then when I kind of join that to myself, I'm really bad at white lying. I white lie, I think, more often than I tell the truth. Not that that is a good trait. I do not think that that is a good trait. I am the worst white liar known to man. But biggest pet peeve with people is just when they're not very direct. They're a little bit indirect and they maybe don't tell you what they really want to say. I hate it and I can't stand it. I actually can't stand it. But I'm also really bad at confronting people. I will not confront people. I'm not confronting anybody about anything. If we've got a problem, we can have that problem and it's just going to sit there, because I ain't coming to you and going, what's your problem? That's just too much. That's just too much. I think we can all agree that this turned to full glam rather quickly, and I actually am currently doing my makeup without a mirror. I actually don't have a mirror. The next question is, when you were a kid, what did you think you would do when you grew up, and how close were you? Miles off. Absolutely miles off. I think when I was a kid, I used to think I was going to be a vet. That was when I was really young. There's little videos of little 5-year-old me in a little vet outfit pretending to treat my animals. They were teddies. Pretending to treat my animals, and there's really, really old videos and they're so cute, and I really wish that I would follow along with the same dreams that I had when I was a kid, but obviously I didn't. So I wanted to be a vet when I was about 5. And then as I grew up, I really wanted to be a teacher, because I used to do that little thing that all little kids do, is where you pretend you've got a class of students and they're all your stuffed animals sat on the bed. I wanted to do TikTok and YouTube for a very long time when I was younger, a very, very long time, and still do. And then I can't really remember what I wanted to do when I was like a reasonable age, but one of my friends always reminds me of when I was in school and the teacher said to me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I actually turned around and said an elephant. So this is how much sense I used to have when I was a kid, but now I am a manager in a retail store and trying to do social media part-time. And if anyone's thinking, Petra, you're putting an awful lot of concealer on, it's because my foundation is awfully dark. I'm trying to even it out. So yeah, I kind of wanted to be a mix of everything. I wanted to be a police lady for quite a while. The reason I didn't follow through with that is because I had a feeling it'd be way too much stress, and I was probably pretty spot on. So yeah, now I'm a manager in a retail store trying to do this whole shebang on the side. The next question is, what would you do for your friends or family if money was no issue? Do you know what, I always think about this, literally always think about this, because if I was rich, I would do absolutely anything for my family. I'm very, very close with my family. My mum is my absolute ultimate best friend. She's everything that I desire to be when I'm older. I would love to even be half of the woman that she is. She is my quite literal best friend, and she hates when I say it because she always says to me, Petra, I am your mum, not your best friend, but she is my best friend. I would 100% pay off the mortgage because they've done absolutely everything for me growing up. When I was dealing with all my mental health and all my craziness, they were the first people to be there. And obviously you expect that, but I think my mum did push heavens and earths to make sure that I was going to be okay, and I'm ever so grateful. And if I could pay her back in any kind of way, I would literally do anything for my mother. I would buy a new car as well, because, fun fact, my mum will not buy herself a nice new car. She'll just get around in a really old banger until it breaks, and then when it breaks, she'll get herself another old banger until it becomes really old and breaks again. I think I've never seen my mum with a new car. I would buy her an Audi TT. It's her absolute dream car, and she's had it before. She used to have an Audi TT, and she used to take me to school in it, and my head, when I used to sit in the back, used to hit the roof every time. But my mum loved her Audi TT, but it's just so expensive to run. So I would 100% get her an Audi TT. My dad wanted a new car. I went to Audi to pick up my car, and he was like, oh, I want one. And I was like, Dad, not happening. He was like, when I get my retirement stuff, he was like, I'm getting a new car. I was like, please don't, because mum's not even got herself a new car yet. He's at about 3 since mum's had this banger that collapses as it goes over every bump on the road. But yeah, and then I would probably buy mum and dad a house abroad. That's what they really want to do. They want to sell this house and they want to live in Spain or something like that. So I would 100% get them that. And then my sister, honestly, anything she friggin' wants. We argue like cat and dog, but that girl's my best friend on a reel. She doesn't know it, but she's the first person I'd go to in crisis, and I think she just doesn't know that yet. But if I'm ever kidnapped or on the verge of death, when her phone rings, she'll be shocked. Honestly, I'd do anything for my family. Same goes for my friends, 100%. My very, very close friends are the people that I hold very close to my heart. So honestly, like, anything I could. But I would take my friends travelling because I'd love them to see the world with me. Be a great experience. What a bonding time, you know? Next question while I go in with my little Charlotte Tilbury. All insecurities and doubts aside, what's something you genuinely like about yourself? I'm really bad at listing the things that I like about myself, but really good about listing the things that I hate about myself. And I think that's just a really negative trait. Don't seem to be talking about many positive traits, do I? I think if anyone was to say to me, what do I genuinely like about myself with all doubts and insecurities aside, I think I'd honestly say just the person that I am. I think if I took looks out of the equation, I'd be very happy with the person that I am. I think I'm a very caring, very nurturing, very kind. God, I'm really like boosting my ego over here, but I do praise myself on kind of the person that I am. I think I'm very, very honest to the people that kind of I can feel like I can be honest with. I think I'm a good friend, and I think I have a good soul, if that makes sense. Like, I think I've got a very honest soul and a very kind soul. I'd like to hope I do. So honestly, I just praise myself on kind of like my morals, my beliefs, my personality kind of vibe. I think that is what I would say I genuinely like. Next question is, at what age do you think you really start to come into your own? In full honesty, I didn't really understand this question, so I'm just gonna kind of YOLO it as, what age do you really think you start to come to like your, is it your frontal lobe? I would probably say like 17, 18. I think I might have come to it a little bit sooner, just based off the course of life that got given to me. I matured quite soon. I think going through everything that I went through kind of during my like young adulthood slash early teens, I'd say I struggled a lot in life, and I think that almost forced me to mature. Not that I like the fact that I was forced to mature, but am I kind of grateful for it? Yeah. I think I see people my age sometimes and speak to people my age sometimes, and I just think like there's no maturity and there's no kind of like understanding. Whereas when I look at myself and I think like, if I had a conversation with myself when I was younger, would I be proud of the person that I am today? Yeah, probably. So honestly, for me, it was like 17, 18. For most people, I would probably say it's when they start to hit kind of like adulthood that really matters, like 20s. I think a lot of people don't realise where they really want to be in life until they kind of hit their 20s, because then they're like, wow, I really need to grow up. I think when you realise that mum and dad aren't going to be around forever, and life needs to start being taken seriously, I think that's when people start to come into their own. I think some people forget that life needs to go on, and you know, your mum and dad aren't going to be around forever, so you're not necessarily going to have a roof over your head forever. But yeah, I'd say early 20s that you kind of come into your own and you start being your own person. I think 20s is when you really start to realise that you're kind of in this on your own, like this is your life now. I think we all only live once, and I think we forget this quite a lot, because I think you forget that it's your parents' first time living too. Like, it's your sister's first time living too, and your nan and your granddad's, like, it's everyone's first time living. Like, we're all kind of just playing it by ear. So I always take advice from the kind of people that are older than me, like my nan, my granddad, my mum and dad. Like, they're the people I'll always take advice from, because they've done it. Like, they've done my age. Like, they know what it was like. And I think when my mum said to me, like, it's a bad idea to drop out of college, and I was like, no, like, she's wrong. And you know what? She probably wasn't. Like, she just wanted me to have a good life, and that's all she's ever wanted for me. And I think, yeah, when you kind of hit 19, 20, I think you have to start realising that the advice they give you is probably pretty accurate, probably what you need to take. So yeah, 20s, early 20s, kind of like late teens, it depends. I think it all depends on what you've gone through and kind of the life that you've kind of had planned out so far. But I would say early 20s for most people. For people that I come into contact with, yeah, early 20s, 100%. Okay, next question. What's the best way to turn around an awful mood? Honestly, probably music. A little car drive and some music literally fixes any bad mood. Usually I'll just do like a little drive around town, not far, listen to a few of my favourite like sad songs, maybe sometimes cry it out, sometimes laugh it out. I think it all really depends. But I do like a little car drive with some music playing. I think it takes your mind off whatever you're feeling. So 100% probably music. Music and a little drive around town, or like a walk. I would love to start running and listening to music. I feel like that would 100% get me out of a bad mood, but I don't see myself running anywhere, so the likelihood of that happening is very slim. Very, very slim. Okay, I hope I mentioned earlier on in this that I'm not very good at makeup. Because otherwise you're probably watching thinking, why does she look like that? And honestly, I would be too. I would literally be looking at myself like that. Okay, the next question, while I stare at my phone and try and fix this absolute monstrosity, is where would you find me at a party? In all honesty, you wouldn't find me at one. You would not find me at one. I don't find any enjoyment in drinking. I don't find any enjoyment in partying. I would much rather be sat at home watching What would I rather watch? SWAT or Chicago PD or something along those lines, or Ellen Neal and her crime documentaries. I would much rather be doing that than at a party. I'll be completely honest. There's no way. There's just no way in hell that you would find me at a party. When I was younger, when I was like 16, 15, yeah, by all means, with my big bottle of sours on a field. Because that was just the trend when everyone was a young teenager. It was like, oh, shall we go drinking on the local field and get bottles of cheap alcohol that's going to get us very wavy because we're very young and our whole systems haven't developed yet. But I used to absolutely love that when I was younger, and honestly, prime time. If I could go back, I actually think I might. It was quite a fun time in life, and you didn't really have any responsibilities, so it was just way more fun. The next question is, if you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living, and why? I think about this so often. I always think, if I was to die next week, would I be happy with what I'm doing right now? And every single time I say no. Because when I deep it, I could literally be travelling the world right now and I'm not. Like, I'm sat at home, literally in the UK, working a full-time job, doing nothing that I ever dreamed of as a kid. Like, if I was to die next year, I would get a one-way flight out to probably Australia. I would live in some hostels for a little bit. I'd try new foods. I'd make more memories. I'd do more one nights? What are they called? What's it called? An all-nighter. I'd do some all-nighters. I would write a book like I've always wanted to. I would do some motivational speeches like I've always wanted to. I'd do everything that I've ever wanted to that I didn't do because I was too scared to do, if that makes sense. So I would 100% get a one-way flight out anywhere, ideally Australia, and I'd just live. Because I feel like right now, not that I'm not living, like I feel like I'm more surviving. I would love to be anywhere but here. I would vlog whilst I was out there, and I would make the most of everything. I don't think anyone can say that they're doing exactly what they want to be doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to just do something crazy, but I get too paranoid and that's why I don't do it. But if I had a year left, what's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? I would fly anywhere but here, and I would just put myself out there. Why the hell not? Do you know what I mean? Like, what am I waiting for if I'm dying next year? Is that what the question was? Did it even tell me I was dying next year, or have I just made that up? Okay, sound. I didn't make it up. It was saying that I was dying next year. I thought I was losing the plot then, and I'm not. So that was a good feeling. Next question. What risk would I take if I knew I wouldn't fail? I would go travelling, and I would be a vlogger travelling. So like a travel vlogs. I'd love to do that. That's the absolute dream. I would absolutely love to go travelling and vlog it all and kind of, you know, do social media full time whilst travelling the world like I've always wanted to. If anyone's seen Cara May, she's on TikTok. She's absolutely stunning. She's so gorgeous. And she goes travelling kind of everywhere. The first time I ever followed her, she was travelling in Thailand, like Bangkok and that. And you know what? Like, I was so jealous. And obviously, because I'd always wanted to travel, for me that was like, this is my way of living through someone. I'm just living vicariously through her. And every time she goes travelling, I just watch them on repeat. It's my favourite content ever. So, if I knew I weren't going to fail, I would do YouTube full time, travel in the world, having so much fun. That is exactly what I would do. I think we'll do one more question and then I'm going to wrap it up a little bit. So the last question is, what life lessons did you learn the hard way? I think most life lessons. I think everything you learn the hard way. I don't think you ever learn anything easy. It's the truth. It's shit, but it's the truth. I think you learn that life isn't going to be as easy as you think it is. It's not. Like, sometimes it's a bit of a whirlwind. I think people underestimate how hard life can get. I think you learn everything the hardest way you can, but it gets better. I think you're going to learn that friends don't stay friends forever. I think you're going to learn that it's okay to be lonely. I think you learn everything the hardest way, but I think if you didn't learn it the hardest way, you wouldn't learn. I think if you learn it the hard way, you're kind of guaranteed to learn from it and come out kind of stronger. So I think everything you learn growing up ends up being the hard way, whether you like it or not. And I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise, you know, like I'd much rather have learnt them things the hardest way possible. So 100%, literally everything. Literally everything. Yeah, I think that's the most honest answer I've given. Like, you learn everything the hard way, but it all works out in the end, and that's the positive. There's always a positive to every negative. That was the get ready with me. I think this is the best it's getting. This is definitely coming off because I want to get in bed, watch some movies and just chill. But it was fun to do because I did want to do my makeup today because I've got nothing else to do, so here we are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope we've had a great delve into life. I like having these kind of sit down chats because I feel like you get to know somebody more. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little get ready with me whilst I do my orange Oompa Loompa makeup. And I will be posting very, very soon. We'll probably have a video out very, very soon. And please subscribe, give it a like if you enjoyed watching. It obviously helps us out as small little creators. And yeah, if you want to see any more videos, just let me know which ones you want to see. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. I just don't understand how people do this. This is stressing me out. How am I going to sit here, film, talk, do my makeup, all in one shebang? Because I'm struggling and I look like an orange. But hey ho, we're already here now and we're too far into it, so I'm gonna try and fix, but it's not gonna fix because this is what my hands. Oh, do you know what? Why does it not actually look that bad? It definitely does. I'm definitely lying to myself. I'm trying to make myself feel better. But we'll carry on with the questions and we'll just see what we look like at the end. If we look like an Oompa Loompa, feel free to absolutely bully me because I would too. Don't actually bully me because I might get upset. We don't want that. Anyways, let's carry on. The next question, oh, I've just whacked all that foundation off my lips. This no mirror vibe is not working. Let's put a bit of jump scare. Absolute jump scare. Hold on. I should have definitely continued to do this in the dark because now I've seen what it looks like. And I don't look... I don't know actually. I do look quite awful. She was very... It was not meant to be this full-faced. Petra, like, what is my problem? Why can't I just do anything that I plan to do? Why does everything have to go to donkey's poop? Right, let's just... Petra, we can fix this. You know? We can fix. Can't wait. Can we really? Don't think we can. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just... Crazy, crazy girl. Crazy, crazy girl.